Next topic is photovoltaics. The first question is, which is the technology of choice?
Okay, maybe before we've talked about LEDs, which was energy efficiency. Photovoltaics is about generating energy on site. So that's even better, and you directly save or contribute to the energy that a container terminal or a port consumes. So anyway, back to your question, photovoltaics has three main technologies: crystalline silicon, thin film, and third generation photovoltaics. At the moment, as we speak, only crystalline silicon is a feasible option, because it's the cheapest and the most reliable. Will last for 20 years or even longer, where for the other technologies that is not really as sure as with crystalline silicon. Also, 90 to 95% of the worldwide production is crystalline silicon.
Okay, where to install PV at the available areas?
Right, where are there spaces? Of course, it's roofs. And what do we have in a typical container terminal? We have office spaces, we have workshop, we have maybe other roofs on other buildings, and we could also think of putting roofs over the car parks, which has the benefit for the employees, comes at additional cost. And we could even, if there is empty space, which probably is not, could even install photovoltaics on empty spaces.
Okay, great. What about special case reverse containers?
Well, reefer containers, as we all know, use a lot of energy. And the reefer containers, if the sun shines on them, obviously you need more energy to keep them cool. So what if you combine the two things, namely you put a roof of photovoltaics over the reefer containers, and you still need to get at them, of course, and then you have two savings. First, you put shade on your reefer containers, they use less electricity, and in addition you use the electricity to cool the containers which are generated by the roof. A rough estimate shows you can probably supply between 10 and 20% of the energy needed by that roof, which is at least a saving.
Okay. What is the energy payback time?
Okay, yes, good question, because if you build a photovoltaic module, you need to put in energy. So the critical question is, how long does it take until all that energy comes back and you start saving CO2? The answer is, in Germany, 2 years, in Spain, 1 year. And the trend is it will get less and less and less. So compared to the lifetime, 20 years or more, I think that's really good news.
Okay. Which are the economic aspects?
Right. Of course, a photovoltaic module costs money. So if we talk about cost, first of all, let's say what is the cost, the levelized cost of energy for 1 kilowatt hour. Cost of energy, it's 9 cents per kilowatt hour if you don't count interest for the invest in Germany, and it's about 6 cents per kilowatt hour in Spain in good places. Same, for instance, in Klaipeda.
Okay.
9 cents, so it's not 6, unfortunately.
Okay. Can we try to discuss about potential risk and disadvantage of photovoltaics technology?
Yes, that's of course a justified question. Quite frankly, I'm not aware of any risk. It's there, it doesn't do anything, it's just there. and the only risk is, like with electricity, the normal fire risk if it's not installed properly, but we assume it is. And if there is a fire in the building, then you can switch it off if it's installed in a suitable way and there is no risk for the fire brigade. So it's the risk, there isn't any. So sorry, what was the second part of your question?
Disadvantage of
disadvantage.
technology.
I'm not sure that there really is. Of course, it's a pity that during the night there is no electricity from photovoltaics. So, like with many other renewable energies, you need storage or you need a energy source when it's not available. That is a disadvantage, and I think that is about all there is in terms of disadvantages. Speaking about advantages, risks and cost, the cost will come down more and more. And there is a recent prediction of OECD that by the year 2040, photovoltaics will be the main source of electricity worldwide. So it's none of the other technologies, it will be photovoltaics. As we speak, it's only 2 or 3%. It will then be more than 30% of the total energy supply, because it's getting cheaper, and it's the simplest, it's almost maintenance-free, and it's just there's no noise, it's durable. What more can you want?
Yeah, true. And the last question, combination with solar thermal units.
Right. Again, that is possible. You can either have two separate modules, but the latest thing is that you have both in one module if you have limited roof space. So you are generating electricity and at the same time, for instance, 200 watt electricity, and you are generating 600 watt of heat if you have any need for heat, like showers in a container terminal or space heating. So you could even do that in combination.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for the interview.
My pleasure. Okay, so photovoltaics, after theoretical explanations, here a practical demonstration. This is the back of a photovoltaic module. I'll show you in a minute what's behind or in the front. And what you can see here is a little bit of residual current. It's measuring the current, 3 milliamps. We'll see when I point it towards the sun, or what we have of it at the moment, not a lot, Bremen weather. I will show you what it looks like. So what you can see here, it's a bit like a picture, it's a frame around the module. It consists of 36 individual solar cells made from silicon, and they are electrically connected to give you something like 12 to 15 volts at the operating point. How much is the current now? I point it towards the sun, and what we can see, 230 milliamps. So it's almost a factor of 100 more than before. And this is generated, but now it's almost 300. That is generated by the light from the sun, which is mostly behind the clouds, and this produces electrical energy. Something like 5 watt at the moment, and if the sun is really out, it's 20 watt. So that is pretty small, easier for me to show you. The real PV modules are about this big, and they give you between 200 and 300 watt each. And if you have hundreds of them on your roof, you get 10 kilowatt or 20 kilowatt, which is quite a lot of energy. And if you have a large roof, we are talking of 100 kilowatt electrical power. So let's turn it towards the sun. So here we have the PV module, one cell, 36 cell in total, and as we can see, they produce something like 200 to 250 milliamps of current. And if you have a photovoltaic module, it will tell you on the boiler plate at the back what its specifications are. This one has a peak power of 20 watt and it can deliver up to 1.19 amps or 1190 milliamps. At the moment we have been seeing 250, so there is not a lot of sun. The sun is very dim at the moment.